Now, the long-drawn controversy about the certificate of President Bola Tinubu, the certificate he presented to the Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, when he filed his paperwork to lead Nigeria in June 2022, is not the same as the one the school itself released. A local online newspaper, a People's Gazette, has categorically declared the one the president presented to INEC as a forgery. Now, the newspaper based its report on the testimony of the institution and, which it says introduced a new but potentially fatal front in the ongoing battle to oust the president. The official repudiation of Tinubu's certificate, the only academic qualification he presented to INEC, came at a deposition of school officials on Tuesday in Chicago. An expanded transcript of the session is still being processed. But the Gazette learnt about what has perhaps been the most crucial expectation of Nigerians, which is how the school would characterize Tinubu's certificate under oath and penalty of perjury. Well, Caleb Westberg, the registrar of Chicago State University, said Tinubu's certificate dated June 22, 1979, and tendered to INEC on June 17, 2022, was not issued by the school, and its administrators could, therefore, not be able to authenticate its source. Westberg, CSU's registrar since November 2020, also said during the deposition that lasted about 5.5 hours that Tinubu did not apply for a replacement certificate, nor was he ever issued one. Conflicting words. Now, the categorical statement capped a successful outcome for the month-long legal strategy of Atiku Abubakar, Tinubu's main opponent, who approached the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois in Chicago to ascertain the authenticity or otherwise of the document. A federal district judge, Nancy Maldonado, granted a final order for CSU administrators to turn over all documents relating to Tinubu to the school and also sit down for deposition by an adversarial team of lawyers deployed by Abubakar. Now, Tinubu, sensing the intractable consequences of the proceeding, vigorously fought to thwart its successful outcome, with his lawyers warning the judge in a September 21 hearing that releasing the documents with deposition would inevitably inflict severe, irreparable harm against the Nigerian president. Now, the school had long insisted that Tinubu was a student entering in 1977 and graduating in 1979, but its inability to authenticate the certificate the Nigerian president submitted would ripple Nigeria's over 200 million population for the foreseeable future. Well, joining us virtually to discuss this is Chukwuma Okoro and Nelson Ekujimi, both public affairs commentators. All right, so Chukwuma, good morning to you, and we do appreciate you for your time, for joining us right here on the show. Now, first off, to get this out of the way, I would like to know what your take is on the released result and how do you think the public is taking this information so far?
Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Joy.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me here. The information that has been given to Atiku Abubakar by the Chicago State University after a long-drawn legal battle, it's good news to Nigerians. It's been anticipated, it's been anticipatory. For several weeks now, Nigerians have been yearning to see how the whole thing will pan out. After several hurdles by the Atiku Abubakar legal team, they were able to get the CSU to release Bola Ahmed Tinubu's records. about the school he attended, the time he went there, and his transcript, and every other record that Atiku Abubakar asked for. It is good news. But I think that is, for now, there's this whole conundrum about the legal implications of what has been given to Atiku Abubakar. Now, the registrar says the certificate that was deposed at Inec is different from the one issued by the school. So is that a case of forgery? It's a clear case of forgery if you look at it at that face value. But the school did admit that Bola Tinubu, President Tinubu, actually enrolled and passed through the Chicago State University, graduated in 1979. So I don't have the final points of the law because I'm not a lawyer. So I'm going to look at the political and reputational implications of that saga that has become a sore in the continent of Africa, in the conscience of the continent of Africa. It is undeserving. We didn't have to go through all this. The president could have simply said, sorry guys, this is what happened, this is what happened. And the whole thing would have ended. I begin to ask myself so many questions. Why did he, if he made all those grades, why did he have to forge a certificate and depose and give it to Inec? What was all that for? And why did he have to, we're running from pillar to post? He went to court within 3 days, within 2 days, he got 3 injunctions stopping the university from releasing his documents and came out with a statement that stings the ear that the release of the document will cause irreparable damage to his person. What was all that for? Unfortunately, apart from what I read now, there's so much out there that you don't even know which one to believe. So it's only Atiku Abubakar and his team of lawyers who have the details of what was released to them and know what they are going to do in the Supreme Court with it. Like I said, there was one day I said something here about the judicial importance of what Atiku was struggling to get from CSU. And in the public space, the debate is so much between the pros and the antis, between those who are in support of Tinubu and those who are in support of Atiku. But sincerely speaking, all this was it was quite unnecessary. It was quite unnecessary for the president to bring this kind of open shame to Nigerians. And diplomatically, it's going to affect our relations with a lot of people. They might not come out to say it openly, but in their idiosyncrasies, it will be observed both at the airports, diplomatic meetings, summits. There's a way they look at Nigerians with the green passport. Because, like I said, in the face value, that is forgery. But I don't have to say until the courts decide. But looking at it as an individual, I think it is a clear case of forgery. But we'll let the courts do their work and let's see how it pans out.
All right, Chukum, thank you very much for your take. So now, what do you think, what do you have to say about the alleged gender differences? Because there has been some discrepancies in the result, and lots of people are coming to, talk about this and bring out all of these things, and it's becoming, it's seeming as though this matter would not be put to rest anytime soon. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think that should go to Nelson Akujimi. Good morning to you, Nelson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see, Joy, that's another conundrum in there. That's another conundrum in there because the requisite admission papers for Chicago State University, which was issued to Tinubu by Dali College, incidentally has the F mark in the sex column, meaning that it actually belongs to a female. But President Tinubu did not submit that Dali College certificate to Inec. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. He didn't submit that Dali College certificate to Inec. It was not deposed as evidence in court. So it still goes back to the judicial value of whether he was male or female. But Chicago State University did agree that Bola Ahmed Tinubu male went to CSU and graduated in 1979.
All right then.
Have I made myself clear?
Oh yes, yes, you have. All right then. Let's welcome Nelson Ekujimi now, who also joins us virtually. Good morning to you, Nelson.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you on the show. Now, Nelson, what do you make of all the brouhaha, if I may use that word, especially on social media? I want to believe you've been following this on social media. What do you make of it all? All the noise being made.
Oh, thank you very much once again for having me. It's an object of amusement. You know, when the fishing expedition by former vice president and the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, came into public space, a lot of us, we knew, it was on a fruitless exercise. He just kept our cool and we were laughing. And when he tried to get President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's certificate from the university through the back door by, making an application to the school, he was told to go and pass through the main entrance, which is to get a court order to that effect. And realizing the futility of trying to shortchange the system in accessing a document through the legal routes, he now went the normal routes. And when he got that order, the person involved now went to court and said, no, the magistrate erred in law in granting that order, that order is only permissible through a district court. And you must commend the person involved you must commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for respecting the law by, seeking judicial interpretation of whatever happened. And, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's lawyer filed against that judgment, and they went to the district court, and the district court reviewed it, and in reviewing it, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's counsel now said, don't release any other document apart from my certificate. And the district court, in its wisdom, now subpoenaed the university to release other documents. And we have all seen that the documents are exactly the same. So for me, when somebody is fishing is embarking on a fruitless exercise, there's nothing stopping you from allowing him to, continue in his expedition to nothingness. So I wonder why my brother is paid, the Chukuma, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should have released it. Release what? Are you the one that paid the school fees? Are you the one that sent him to school?
No, but Nelson.
Hold on.
No, Nelson, there's no point holding on.
Yes, I must.
Now, Nelson, you are attacking the personality
I understand
that is
the slant is
also a
coming
guest
from.
on the show.
A man has a right to certificate.
Of course. Now, the guest has a right to his opinion. You have a right to your opinion as well. But the only reason I'm interrupting you now, Nelson, is because you are attacking a fellow guest on the show. I don't think that's.
How am I attacking him?
Now, the guest has stated his opinion on the issue, and all you have to do really is state yours. So what?
Moses, in what way am I attacking him?
You're saying he didn't pay his school fees. Of course, he didn't pay his school fees. Of course, he didn't pay his.
No, am I talking to him? No, am I talking to him? I said Atiku Abubakar didn't pay President Bola Ahmed Tinubu school fees. Okay. I wasn't talking to him now.
I guess I missed you there.
You have asked me a question.
Oh, sorry about that.
Atiku Abubakar didn't pay President Bola Ahmed Tinubu school fees. And what the Nigerian law required was what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu deposed to. And he has gone to court. And we have all seen the outcome. So the issue at hand is that if I were in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's shoes, I will even do more than that. Because in the first place, in law, it is said that he who must come to equity must come with clean hands. It is not somebody like Atiku Abubakar that should be seeking morality on a public issue when, his antecedents, his testimonial, as explained by his principal, former President Olusegun Obasanjo is in the public domain of the type of person he is. So he's asking for somebody's certificate, and the person has said, the certificate you are asking, the court that gave you the order does not have the powers to do that. He's seeking a judicial review. He's not going through any other door, and he now approached the court. So if you have gotten a judgment from a court and I'm dissatisfied, I have the right to approach a court and say, look, my lord, the judgment given in that court, I don't agree with it. It is civilized conduct, as far as I'm concerned. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not owe Alhaji Atiku Abubakar the responsibility to reveal his certificate. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's certificate has been revealed to Nigerians through his deposition with the Independent National Electoral Commission in contesting that election. And whether he is female or male, I believe now that he has the documents in his pocket or in the hands of his clients, his counsel, through the court, then he should proceed and do whatever he wants with it. So there was this whole drama by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and his supporters was totally unnecessary. And you can see that it has come to nothingness. So let us continue to watch. But a lot of us who knew he was fishing, he was on a fishing expedition, we're just having a laugh, and we have been proved right. The courts or whatever happens in public space is not determined by what happens on social media. A lot of persons are not even making use of the social media because of what it has become. But those of us on the social media, we continue to maintain our sanity in whatever we are doing, and we don't allow our sanity to be undermined by whatever is happening there. We know what we are after. We are after facts, we are after the truth, we are after objectivity. So if you are not satisfied with that and you want to run with whatever commentary you feel like we say in journalism, opinions are free, but facts are sacred.
Thank you very much for your take now. The fishing expedition, as it's been put, may have caught a starfish or may have caught a whale, because there are more questions now left unanswered. So, Chukwuma, quickly, let me get your take on this. Now, the school, the secondary school, the president was said to have attended in Lagos. There's an issue as to when he graduated and when this school was established. Some are saying he said he graduated in 1970 when the school was not even in existence. What do you make? Please help me explain that. Chukwuma, please.
Yes. Before I go to that question, I want to disagree with Nelson.
Okay.
Nelson says that, incidentally, that what Chicago State University released to Atiku Abubakar is the same that Bola Ahmed Tinubu deposed with Inec. That is not true. It's not correct. The certificate is clearly different. The two of them are clearly different. So I don't know how Nelson can sit here on national TV, something that is in the public, and say that the certificates are the same. Even the people that signed it, during the position, the registrar of CSU made it clear that, look, this certificate presented to INEC in Nigeria is not the one issued by us. And Nelson is sitting here asking Atiku Abubakar's right to ask for Tinubu's certificate, when Atiku feels that the certificate is forged and which has been cleared by the issuing authority. He is a public figure. He is my president. You are president. He is Nigeria's president. He's a public person. Everybody has the right to ask anything about him. So let's be very clear. Let's be very, very clear on that. Atiku did not embark on a futile expedition. And I did say here that it is left for the courts to decide the value of what Atiku got from CSU. We'll all have to wait for that.
All right.
Talking about the secondary school he attended, you see, the whole thing, like I said, is a national embarrassment. It's a national embarrassment. Our president has supposedly lied to us from stage one, right? From the first time he contested for Senate through 1998 up until this moment. And people are supporting it. Why? This is a man that says, I went to government college in Ibadan and I graduated in 1970. That same government college in Ibadan was not opened until 1974. What do you make out of that? At one point, it says Government College, Lagos. All these things, the post with Inec at particular times from the first time he contested for Senate. What does it tell you? Is that not forgery? Under affidavit, it's perjury. So if you ask me, the whole thing is a national embarrassment, and we didn't have to go through all this. Yesterday, I said something about a Kenyan friend who called me and asked me why our president and the former vice president had to relocate to Chicago. I didn't make sense of it until he related it to the whole saga of the Chicago State University or whatever. It's a national embarrassment. And let us be clear, it is only the courts that will now decide the value of all the, okay, we have at a point, our president says he studied accounting. At a point, he said, I studied economics. At a point, he said, I studied business and administration from the same university between 1979 and 1977 and 1979. What do we make out of all that? How could I have studied history in diplomatic and strategic studies in Unilag, and at the same time study political science, and at the same time study mathematics between 1977 and 1979, and you expect people to take me serious? It doesn't happen. It doesn't. It's a clear case of forgery, but like I always end up saying, it is the courts that will decide. On the face value, I see it clearly as a case of forgery.
All right, Nelson, to you now. I mean, you spoke about Atiku also not having a good moral standing himself to be able to, try to fault somebody else's, But this is not. Atiku would do anything right now to make sure that he wins in the Supreme Court. So, and Tinubu is the one that is being probed here. Now, my question is, the president said he attended the CSU, and but. I mean, from my own little knowledge, I know that for you to be able to gain admission into a tertiary institution in Nigeria or abroad, you must have some other certificates, to ensure, you must have gone through some other stages of education, such as primary school and secondary school and all of that. Now, if all of this did not happen, how is it that he was able to gain admission into the Chicago State University if the primary school certificate and secondary school certificate, were not on ground? Can you help us make sense of all of this?
Well, thank you very much. I'm surprised that when the other guest at the end was referring to me, Moses did not interject to say he was attacking I as a guest. He kept quiet. The guest made mention of issues that are not, that he cannot substantiate with documents. He's talking about business administration, philosophy, biology, XYZ. And I don't know where he got that is information from. That is part of the misinformation we talk about that runs on. Moses, please let me have my seat. Don't interject. If you want to interject, then I think I should exit this platform for you to do that.
I am not interjecting.
So that you run your program with what you want. You are prepared to listen to.
No, I am not interjecting. I'm saying that you are at liberty to respond.
Thank you very much for your question. In educational institutions, you don't have to possess all these requirements you mentioned if you are a matured candidate. There are some, exemptions in certain circumstances that can allow you, apply and get admission for some courses based on your experience as an individual. I know that for sure. So if anybody has any problem about President Bola Tinubu's credentials with which he gained admission into the university or into the Chicago State University, it is for that person, to go to wherever level to expose it. I don't have those information you are running wild with, but it is it's your right. You can run wild with whatever you feel like. President Bola Tinubu has been a senator, has been a governor. People have challenged his academic credentials, even from then till now. And the courts have said, you don't have a case. And if you don't accept, if you don't respect, civility and democracy, which is about the fact that whenever you are aggrieved, you can seek judicial interpretation, and whatever comes out of judicial interpretation, you should let that rest with the case. But if you want to continue to say, oh, the way he got married is like he kidnapped his wife, oh, the father was not there when he married his wife, so that marriage is illegal, he has a fake marriage certificate, that is left for you to prove. For me, I'm focused on the issue. And the issue is that President Bola Tinubu submitted a certificate to Independent National Electoral Commission to contest the 2023 presidential election, and his opponent, who came second in the election, having lost at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, now is shopping for evidence to go and file to accompany.
All right, we seem to have a glitch in the network there, and we would hate to interrupt Nelson Ekujimi as he makes his point known. We'll hate to do that, but that's as a result of the network problem. But as soon as we're able to reestablish communication with him, we will continue the conversation. I think we have a bit of a glitch with communication with both our guests. So we'll just take a bit, re-establish communication with them, and get their thoughts in on the program. All right. Well, we're still talking about the, as it's been put now, the fishing expedition by the Atiku Abubakar of the PDP camp, searching for answers to years-long question of the Chicago certificate of the president, now president of Nigeria. I want to believe that we have reestablished communication with our guests. All right then, Nelson, unfortunately we had a glitch in the network there, but we'd like for you to continue your line of thought. Go ahead, please.
What I'm saying is that President Bola Tinubu contested an election with this Chicago State University and won that election. His opponent, who came second, having lost at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, now went to seek other information that he can use to support his appeal to the Supreme Court, which is the final bus stop for electoral disputes. And in seeking that, he has extended his tentacles to the Chicago State University, asking for I saw the deposition, I saw the subpoena response of Chicago State University. Chicago State University said they don't keep the certificates of students. The Chicago State University said they even published certificates issued to students in 1979 to graduates, as well as the replacement certificates which President Bola Tinubu tendered, and they are affirmed. And in part of Atiku Abubakar's prayers, seeking to see the font, the seal, the logo of the certificate tendered by President Bola Tinubu. And when Chicago State University submitted it to Atiku Abubakar on the subpoena from the court, everything tallied. So I don't understand where you are coming from again, because this is a student that even the school has come up publicly to state emphatically that this student this candidate was a student between XY number of years, and he graduated in X course. I have not heard where the Chicago State University has come out to say, oh, President Tinubu graduated in sociology or physiotherapy. They have maintained that he graduated in accounting. So whoever is running with, oh, he said he graduated from business administration, he said he graduated from market administration, that is your own. You can run with whatever white guess you want to. It's within your right. But like I said, but facts are secret. And we have seen the facts as attested to by the documents submitted to Atiku Abubakar Council by the Chicago State University in response to the subpoena from the court. So whoever is not satisfied with that can then, take it further than that. But as we know, we don't know any other option. They can continue to run on the social media saying, I spoke to one president in Africa, he was embarrassed. This has become, that is your own cup of tea. But for a lot of us Nigerians, we are focused on the issue at hand. We don't have any problem with this issue. And we, like Chukuma rightly said, let us see whatever will come out of the case at the Supreme Court. Then we know where we're going from there.
All right, then, indeed, we'll have to wait for the Supreme Court to give its final verdict. And, Nelson, we are Nigerians, and we are interested in this because we are Nigerians, and the president is the #1 man in Nigeria. So he is the model that Nigerians, he's the model through which the world will look at Nigerians. Now, what do you think this whole drama will have? What impact do you think this whole drama will have on the perception of Nigerians? Whether it's a fact that he graduated from the school, whether it's the one he presented to Inec was fake, or whether the one he presented was real. The bottom line is that the perception of Nigerians in the world stage might be tainted at this point. Don't you think so?
I disagree absolutely. Okay. Absolutely, I disagree.
All right.
This issue has been laid to rest by the documents and response of the state of Chicago State University to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's petition to the court, and it is settled. So if anyone is still living, in that dream that this has anything to do with the image of Nigerians, I disagree absolutely. What has to do with the image of Nigeria is how Nigerians conduct themselves both locally and internationally. As we speak, President Bola Tinubu had to go to UAE to secure the revocation of the ban on Nigerians visiting UAE. I'm sure that was not because President Bola Tinubu's certificate was an issue in the court in the US. Absolutely not. We have seen several cases of Nigerians who have been engaged in criminal activities outside the shores of this country. I'm sure those things didn't happen because Atiku Abubakar took the issue of President Bola Tinubu's certificate to the US to verify. And like I stated earlier on, the school has come out publicly, but whoever is not satisfied and wants to continue to run with their wild guesses, oh, this is a national embarrassment, this is this. It's your right. Some Nigerians are not on that page with you. Some Nigerians are more interested in serious issues. So if you want to continue to run in your wild dreams as against what the school has said, it's left to you. The school has come out, even if you are a serious people. The school came out and said this candidate was our student. You now went to the school to say, okay, supply his credentials. And the school has supplied his credentials, but you are still fishing, looking for other things to tarnish the image of Mr. President, as well as Nigeria. But some of us Nigerians will not fold our arms and allow you run AY with it. We'll challenge every falsehood, we'll challenge every lie, we'll challenge every misinformation with the fact. And that is why I've said those things some persons are saying, the only response I have to them is to provide evidence to substantiate it. If you are saying Mr. President said he graduated in business administration, I have never heard him say it. You have to provide a documentary evidence to substantiate.
Moses, I guess I have to come in at this point.
No, because
you
are saying it. You have your time, please.
It's your right. You can run with it as far as you want to. I will focus on the fact that I know and I'm aware that there's a document in the public domain from the Chicago State University that Mr. President graduated in accounting. And if you look at the trajectory of Mr. President, even his work experience, it was in the accounting field, in those institutions in which he worked before coming into public office. So I don't have any problem with whatever guesses or assumptions anybody wants to run with. It's within their right to do that.
All right, then. All right, so Chukuma, so now I will come to you now. But, it's interesting because I saw business administration on the certificate. But, okay, Chukuma, what's your take? I see you want to respond to that, but I'm
Yes,
gonna like for you to ask-
I want to respond. I want to respond to Nelson. In the
Okay.
first place,
Before you
I didn't
do-
attack him.
Before you do,
Sorry, come
before
again.
you do, please,
Okay.
I'd like for you to, because we're going to wrap this up soon. I'd like for you to add also respond to the question I asked Nelson earlier as to how this affects Nigerians going forward. Already, we have an issue with the green passports. All right. Now, the certificate issue now, especially for Nigerians that intend to study abroad, taking their certificates from here to the abroad. Will it raise more questions? Will Nigerians be? Will it affect the perception of Nigerians abroad? You can merge the two.
Of course, it is already. But I will come back to that. But
Okay.
I want to tell Nelson that I didn't attack him. I merely attacked. I disagreed with his opinion. I didn't attack him as an individual. Unfortunately, Nelson is here presenting incorrect information on national TV. See, as you said, this man, and it's like he came here predetermined, a particular mindset that he doesn't want to listen to the arguments of another person except that which he believes in. I said in my opening speech that there's a conundrum. CSU actually said this man graduated from our university between 1977 and 1979. But this certificate, which you people say that he deposed to Inec in Nigeria, was not issued by us. So why are you saying that they presented the certificate issued by CSU and the one deposed to INEC is the same? You are wrong. That's not true. It's not the same. They are different things. And like I said, it's a clear case of forgery, which only the courts can determine. Now you say, ask people who are running wild with imaginations, information that has been on public place for the past 24 years and more. You're asking people who disagree to go to court, and you turn around to say that Atiku Abubakar's expedition in court is a wild goose chase. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And you come on TV and tell us that even while the Chicago State case was going on, that President Bola Tinubu went to UAE and secured a revocation. Revocation of what? When UAE says we have not revoked anything. Nelson, can you go to Dubai now as a Nigerian? It has not been revoked. So stop spewing wrong information on TV. Moses, back to what you said, the question you asked is already clear. The green passport had issues even before now. So the present case has only compounded the whole issue. Sometime, I think in May or June, the UK had to conduct another search, independent search, on certificates of Nigerian students that went to UK to study nursing. What does that tell you? That tells you that they don't believe, they don't trust us. They don't trust our certificates. They don't trust whatever comes out of here. And whether we like it or not, the reputational damage on Nigerians is, you cannot quantify it. You can't quantify it. See, there's no need being partisan in the whole of this thing. You can support any candidate you like. If you're a politician, I am not one. I'll look at the cases on their merit. And I did say here when I started that I am not a lawyer. I don't know the final points of the law. So what I always do is give a political aspect of what I understand and now tell you that, look, it is only the courts that have the final say in this matter. Talk of reputation, we are gone, we are damaged, whether we like it or not. We can pretend forever. We can live in denial as long as we like. But the issue is that our image keeps going down the drain every day from what our president has done to us. The information is in public space. He didn't start contesting elections in 2022. He went to Senate with certificates that are okay. Why didn't he file those certificates from the Senate time, the governorship time, up until this period? Why did he have to choose only the Chicago State University? And if he went to secondary school, what qualifies you to contest for as president of this country is mere attempting secondary school certificate. You don't have to make A's all through. Just attempt. If he has it, why didn't he show it? And we are defending what is indefensible.
Chukuma, that's the minimum qualification. Chukuma, Stop misleading
that's
us.
what I
That's
said.
minimum qualification. Minimum.
So why do you have to give what you
minimum?
don't have? Why do you have to present what you don't have? Why did he?
The school stats attempted is the minimum. If you have a PhD,
Does he have
you
it?
can
Why
decide
didn't
not to
he
present others.
submit it? Why did he submit it in previous elections? Did the requirements change? Is it not the same electoral act and the same constitution now?
He has the right to submit whatever results he wants, whatever certificate he wants. That is what the law says.
And the one he submitted is a forged certificate.
All right, gentlemen.
The university says it is forged.
Gentlemen, this is where we'll have to
Chukuma,
wrap this part of the show.
You have now become a court of law. So you can determine the fake from the forged. I hope you remember the case of...
but CSE said this certificate was not issued by us. That is what, and they presented it.
That is not true.
It was even shown on TV here.
No, that is not true.
No. That's the fact. That's factual.
That is not true. Don't bring your partisanship. You know, me.
You are the one who has been partisan all along.
You have been objective. And you have been objective.
All right, then. This is well. I must interject at this point. I must say we'll have to wrap up this part of the show, and we totally appreciate the contributions of you both, and would like to continue into the other segment of the show. And would like you, Nelton Ikujimi and Chukuma Okoro, to stay with us as we go on to the second part of the show. Now, up next on VOP this morning, heartbreaking news. The news has it that, unfortunately a pregnant woman was crushed to death with a tricycle rider in Lagos, Agor Palace Way precisely. And we'll talk about this. Our thoughts, of course, goes out to the victim. And we also do hear that the two children involved also in this accident are currently receiving treatment. We'll talk about this when we come back after this break.